Hey, Jeff Howard here at wingboarding.com, and I got a video to how to get up on a 40-liter board. So watch this quick little video. It shows my first time on getting up on this, and at the end of the video I'm going to come back and explain a little bit the techniques of getting up on small boards.
Right over there.
Alright, this is the first time ever on a 40-liter board. I gotta give this a try. I don't have straps on it, so give it a try. First time. Alright, this is my first time. I've been out here practicing on a 40-liter board. This is not easy, I gotta say. You definitely want to have some wind to it. But it pretty much sinks down. I'm about 165 to 170 pounds. I'm gonna give it a try. Let's see what happens. It's like wrestling a bull. You gotta get to the balance point of that board and the nose keeps coming up. That's the smallest I've ever ridden on there, 40 liters. Thanks, sure fun though. Hey, Jeff Howard here, back from the video, and I hope you enjoyed that. That was my first time on getting up on this 40 liter. Now, I'm telling you, I'm just trying to help out those because I started on a 125 liter, I went down to a 90 liter, then I've gone down to a 75, and I want to find that limit. I want to try to teach people to show you the techniques of how what I use to get up on these boards. This is a 40 liter from Nash. This is the smallest I've been on, and I will tell you, this definitely does sink under you quite a bit. So I want to show you the technique. Some of the people call it the stink bug. I don't know. I didn't see the technique. I just kind of figured it out on my own. I was in the gorge, and the guys were saying, you got to go down to a smaller board. This is what we have. So I took it out and started working on it. People are calling it the stink bug. I don't care, whatever you want to call it. It definitely helps out on getting started on anything that you're really not just standing on and floating. Probably anything smaller than a 90 or 90 liter. Once you get down smaller, this technique really helps. So what I do, this is my 3.5. So I'm going to try to show you this technique. So I got the wind behind me. And the big key is making sure you try to get both hands back on the handle before you start. So what I do, if I'm down in the water, I'll grab that front handle, bring that leading edge under, so this creates an area here that I can crawl up on the board. Now, what I do is I get my front hand, I put my thumb over, and I clamp that to the nose of the board. When I clamp it down like that, the strut causes stability left to right. The leading edge is in the water. This is being pushed up like this, and I'm up underneath here. That leading edge keeps the nose from sinking in if I get my balance off. Now, when launching these small boards, you've got to crawl up onto these. And when you get up, you want to have wide knees. You'll see in that video, some people say they see me straddling. I'm not straddling. I've got wide knees. Now, what I'm doing is I'm trying to find the balance of this board, and it starts to sink down. If you're too far back when you lift up, the nose will rise and shoot your foil out from underneath you. But the whole key is keeping a hold of that until you find that the whole board is about balanced. You feel good. You're on low knees. Now you can get your hands on the handles and you're ready to pop up quick and get that power in the sail and begin that pump, because you've got to get that forward motion. Once you get forward motion, the mast starts to key in, and then all of a sudden everything kind of stabilizes a little bit more. But it's so important to find that balance point. Once you get that balance point, then you start pumping, and you've got to stay in motion to get that nose to rise out. Then you'll go into putting the front foot up, back foot up, continue pumping until you get that foil out on the rise. So that's a technique that I found. It works on so many boards on trying to get up on the small ones, but that's what you'll want to do. Give it a try. It is pretty amazing to get up on these small boards, but I will tell you, it takes a lot of wind. So if it's not blowing and all your R is going out on 5s, 6s, or 7s, it makes it a lot more difficult. The more power you have, I would say something in the 20 range, that's when I would be out there playing on these smaller type boards. But will the 40 liter be my all-around board? Absolutely not. I will have to say, my all-around board that I use is a 75 liter. This gets me a good float. If it's very questionable about winds or anything else, I can get out there and ride this on any of those conditions of the winds. But if it's kind of like lighter, or I want to be rescued, or it's something that's kind of sketchy out there, way easier. I can actually barely pump the wing and be able to scoot this back in and make sure that I get in when the winds do drop. 40 liter, forget it. You are paddling. You're absolutely paddling when you get down to these small boards. So they are that less than efficient. So will I have two boards? Yes, I will. After learning how to launch this 40 and how much fun it was messing around the small boards and the higher winds and my smaller wings, I will be working on a small board. But an all-around 75 is fantastic. I started on a 125, went down to the smaller boards, and I'm just trying to share these techniques so it helps you figure out what your limit is. I'm 52. I would say I'm in pretty good shape, and I do spend a lot of time on the water. But riding these small ones are a lot of fun. It really makes your foil a lot more active and the way that it rides and flies. Some people will ask, what's your foil size? I ride a high aspect. I like the 1200 to a 1400. It all depends on the conditions that I'm riding on. So that is a span of gear that so far that I'm into. Learn, figure it out on those bigger boards, jump down to these little bit smaller ones. Find your average size. If you have any questions at all, what works for you, what will work for you in your riding conditions, don't hesitate. Give us a call here at Kiteboarding.com, wingboarding.com. We're happy to help to get you into the sport. Anyway, it's Jeff Howard here at Kiteboarding.com.